Hello everybody, it's Adrian for Wapcar.my and I'm all about the details. Behind me here is the 2019 Toyota Camry 2.5V. Some are absolutely smitten by it, mostly motoring journalists and enthusiast drivers. Others, however, would raise their pitchforks at BMW Toyota if you so much so as utter the word Camry. Wow! BMW cheap my money leh! So expensive! Buy BMW 3 Series better leh! And I totally see where they're coming from. But the way I see it, there are only two problems with the Camry. First, its asking price of 196,888 ringgit, and secondly, its 2.5 litre engine. So in today's video, I'm going to see how good or bad is the 2.5 litre engine, show you where your 196,000 ringgit is being spent on, and help you decide whether is this your next perfect car, or if you're better off with a BMW 3 Series. Log on to Wapcar.my for the latest reviews, comparisons, and car prices to help you find your perfect car. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Right, so first things first, I will need to quantify the engine performance of the Camry. A 2AR FE 2.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine with Dual VVT-i. It makes 184 PS and 235 Nm of torque. There's a 6-speed automatic transmission to drive the front wheels. I have the car in its sportiest setting. Well, I say sportiest, but actually there's no drive mode selector, only an S mode for the transmission, and the traction control turned off. I have my professional timing gear right here, an empty stretch of road, and a point to prove. So let's go. Wheel spin, that's 40, that's 60, 80, coming up to 100, and full emergency stop. Wow, the Camry did it in 10.5 seconds. You know, not too shabby. Well, you're definitely not going to give any trouble to Honda Civic turbos on the road, but if you come up to a Proton X70 at a traffic light, you have a fighting chance. Many people were disappointed that the all-new Toyota Camry did not come with the latest generation dynamic force petrol engine and 8-speed automatic transmission. Instead, it uses the 2AR FE 2.5 litre engine carried over from the previous generation Camry. Fun fact, the 2AR FE engine is now coming up to 11 years old. But the spirit of Kaizen, or continuous improvement, is deeply etched into the roots of Toyota, which is why the 2AR FE engine has gone through incremental improvements over the years, even though they don't advertise it. To be very honest with you, I'm a little bit bummed that we don't get the dynamic force engine, but at the same time, I don't blame BMW Toyota for it. Because you see, the Toyota Camry is no longer locally assembled, instead fully imported from Thailand, so prices are naturally going to be a bit higher. Not to mention that the Camry's positioning globally has creeped upwards, and our forever weakening ringgit. A dynamic force engine is going to push the price tag of the Camry closer to 250,000 ringgit. If that's the case, I, like most other people, would just go for a C-Class. But don't feel like you're being shortchanged by BMW Toyota, because what you're buying for 196,000 ringgit is not the engine, it's the driving experience. The Camry rides on the Toyota New Global Architecture platform that underpins the latest Prius and CHR, which we have reviewed recently. Click on the pop-up banner above to watch it if you haven't. Besides the modern technologies and high safety standards, the TNGA is also made to deliver an engaging driving experience. At the rear, you have double wishbone suspension that has been blessed by the gods of suspension themselves. For a factory suspension, I think this is right up there with one of the best in the segment. The balance between pliancy and road manners is just perfect. Supple when it needs to, and engaging to drive when pushed hard. It's like Mercedes and BMW came together to make this suspension. BMWs are firm with good road holding capabilities, but can be a bit sharp around the edges sometimes. Mercs are plush, no doubt about that, but you won't want to take it hard around the corners. The Camry is the best of both worlds. Although the double wishbone suspension does eat into the boot space a little bit, now at 493 litres. That's about 22 litres smaller than the previous generation Camry petrol. But depending on how you look at it, it's 72 litres larger than the previous generation Camry hybrid. The Camry's boot space is not as large as some of its class rivals, but good enough for a family weekend getaway. After driving the Camry for a few days, I realized there's nothing wrong with the engine. Its smooth delivery of power and confident gear shifts pairs remarkably well with the platform. A little bit like chicken and rice. It doesn't feel underpowered either, as demonstrated earlier. You just need to trust that the car will deliver. Now that we've gotten engine performance and driving dynamics out of the way, let's talk about price. I think there's nothing wrong with the price of the Camry. What's wrong is Malaysian consumer behaviour. Everyone wants a Land Cruiser-sized car with Rolls-Royce features priced like a Perodua Axia. Not really realistic now, is it? The Camry, at 196,000 ringgit, I think is properly equipped. LED headlamps, 18-inch alloys, and the full suite of Toyota Safety Sense Advanced Driving Assistance System. So you get AEB, Adaptive Cruise Control, Lane Keep Assist, and blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert. The 190,000 CKD Passat doesn't even come with AEB. So what say you? Inside you get a JBL surround sound system, Qi wireless charging tray, ambient lighting and manual rear sun blinds amongst others. I feel that the features in here are par for the money. You can't call this an uncle's car anymore because this is the sharpest and sleekest Camry they've ever made. Even the interior, it doesn't look nor feel like a Toyota anymore. I love this floating dashboard design with brown stitching that ties in really well with this, I guess, brown patterns. The entire dashboard is angled ever so slightly towards the driver, and I appreciate this driver-centric design. While the cabin is fresh and modern, I can still feel some traditional Toyota elements in here. Take for example this 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. The UI is basically made for old people. The fonts and icons are large at every single menu, and these easy to reach physical buttons. For the shortcut keys, old school, but works a million times better than those infotainment systems that's touch sensitive everything. The instrument cluster is also quite a standard unit. You have a TFT display in the center flanked by 2 analog dials. But my beef with this instrument cluster is that the display is really low res. I mean, it's lower res than a Toyota Vios, and that costs 100,000 ringgit cheaper. Also not so great is the center armrest material quality. It's thin and flimsy. It's really out of place with the rest of the high quality touch points in the cabin. The rear is also not as great as expected. Hear me out. Yes, there's plenty of real estate in the footwell, generous amount of kneeroom and headroom, but look at this. The seats are surprisingly upright. Some calls it supportive, but I'm not sure that Taukes would appreciate it. Although it's definitely more comfortable than a BMW 3 Series, just that not quite up to par with what I expect from a D-segment executive sedan. The center armrest is also pretty difficult to get to because it has quite a snug fit and there's no latch for you to pull out, and you open up to 2 cup holders. Curiously, the center headrest is non-adjustable. I wonder what's up with that. But there are still some very clever touches in and around the cabin. For starters, the Qi wireless charging tray, when not in use, opens up to a nice storage space. Besides having a Boss switch for the front passenger seat, there is also a collapsible headrest to give you a better view up front. Most of the stuff in here are powered: steering wheel, seats, rear sunshade, and even the fuel lid opening. Despite some of its shortcomings, I think that the Toyota Camry is a very solid D-segment sedan, especially for those who like to get behind the wheel themselves. If you would like to be ferried in, make sure to check out if the rear seats are to your liking. Although I can guarantee you that you'll be much more comfortable in this than in any tall riding SUVs. Now, to answer the earlier question, is this better than a BMW 3 Series? Well, for the same amount of money, you could only go for a F30 318i with a 1.5-litre 3-cylinder or a lightly used pre-facelift Mercedes-Benz C200. All things considered, the Camry offers better features, space and driving dynamics. The China man in me would say, go for the Camry. It's the more sensible option and gives you bigger bang for your buck. However, if you're a budding MLM marketeer or have the strong desire to prove to everyone else that you've made it in life, even I can't deny the prestige a BMW key brings. Thanks for watching, we hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this. And let us know in the comment section below, whether would you get a Toyota Camry or a BMW 3 Series.